Hey everybody, well, as you can see behind me, this 96 OBS GMC Sierra has got that mid-pearl coat and it's beautiful white with that clear coat buried on top of it. And this right here is going to be a beautiful truck when it's finished. But follow along through this video and you'll see the step-by-step on me getting this cab ready for paint. I'm about to shoot some sealer. This is a 4-to-1 mixture of white on our 96 OBS GMC Sierra or Silverado, it's the same body. One thing about this, I'm using a white sealer. Now, if you're wanting your paint to stand out and be brighter, you tend to want to use a brighter base under your base. Like a sealer, if you use a gray, your white can actually be a duller white versus your white sealer will make it a brighter white. So, let's go ahead and shoot some of this on there. Now it's time to go ahead and put some base on there. Now for our mid coat, we're going to be using a clear coat, and I'm going to be putting the DR01 Dry Sparkle Pearl. Now this pearl right here, mixed in with that clear, is a really fine powder, and it adds just the right amount of that candy color through your top coat clear. So now we're going to be putting on the mid coat. Okay, well that's it. That's the last coat, the clear coat, over my mid coat. Now this isn't finished. I've still got to take it out once it bakes and water sand it and then buff it out to a near finish. But that's going to be it for this part of the video. The cab is in paint. Now all I got to do, I'm going to put it up in the air. I'm going to sand the bottom down. I'm going to shoot the bottom also with this pearl as well. Okay, now everything on the bottom side of the truck is matched to look just like the outside. Now a lot of people, they don't do this, they don't go through this much trouble. Of course y'all see, these Vegas hot rod shows and all these things on TV. They make the outside look good, and a lot of times, if you really look close, a lot of times they don't look that good. They just make it look good for TV. But when this thing right here is up on a lift, once it's complete, you can really tell exactly how much work went into making this truck as nice as it is on the outside, also on the bottom. Now, if this truck goes to a car show, you can put some mirrors on the bottom side right there at the ground, where easily you can look up on the truck and see that this isn't just one of those throw together builds like a lot of people do out on the highway, just making the outside look clean, leaving the rest alone. But there's going to be just as much detail going to the bottom side of this truck as there is on the top. Okay, now on the bottom side of this OBS build, all the bottom of this truck's been sandblasted. We don't want any rust ever coming back through on this thing, or at least for a long time. So it's all been sandblasted. Of course, you've seen the Beltec lowering system that I put on the frame. Well, in order to clear that rear end, even with it still being above this center cross member, if you tend to put a load in the bed will actually come down and hit that, which you saw on my Silverado build. Well, I've notched out this center section, and I've notched out each side right here, because on the Beltec, that C-notch sits about a 1/4 inch above the factory frame, which these perches right here will make contact with that and warp out your bed. So what I've done, I notched that out so we'll have no problem. Now a lot of people, like you see in Street Truck and OBS Magazine, they actually cut this all the way across. I didn't want to take that much support out of this center of this bed, so I kept in as much as possible and didn't take out all that support. But I did a anti-corrosive rust preventative primer and epoxy over the exposed metal. Then I did a base coat in white. I did a mid coat and a clear coat with pearl from House of Color. And then I put a real good coat of clear on it, a matte clear. That way it's not that reflective under the truck, it's shiny, and it'll easily wash off any mud or any debris that's on there if you take it to the car wash. But that's it, I've got the bottom side of the bed done. Of course it's just hanging there from the ceiling. I'm gonna flip it over, get the top hung down from the ceiling, and then start working those bed sides. Now you've seen in my video me working on getting these doors worked, blocking the primer down and getting those painted. Well, now they're in paint, and it's also the same step. I did a real good primer, blocked that primer down, put a base, put a mid coat of a House of Color pearl, and then done the clear on top of that to protect it all. Of course, it's all finished in. I got a brand new VIN number from VIN Labels. If anybody wants to do a new paint job, never just tape over your VIN number. Always have a new one made for your truck. That way when you open the doors, it looks like it was done like that from the factory. All the inside of the doors also has the mid coat in pearl, so that when you open it up, it matches all inside the truck. Which if you see some of the newer models that they make, just because it's outside pearl, it doesn't have pearl on the inside. The inside's actually just done in a flat white that's been clear coated. But that's what we got done with the truck. It's gonna have new rubber on it. This is just in there to keep the doors from making contact when they're shut. Next part of the process, I'm going to be doing this. I'm going to give it about a week for this paint to cure and shrink in as much as it's going to shrink, because paint does shrink. And anybody that's mixed paint before and you've left a little bit in the cup and come back next day, you'll notice it's about a ½ inch shorter in diameter. It's because it shrinks when it dries. So I'm going to let this shrink as much as it can, and then I'm going to come back, I'm going to water sand this down with about 2500 and then go over it with 3000 and 4000, and I'm going to buff this out with 3 stages of compound from 3M. But that's the progress on this. So check out the playlist, go ahead and hit that subscribe and like button and hit that notification bell so that when anything I do to this truck or any future builds, you'll be the first to get it. But I'm going to go in here and get working on this bed, and I'll see y'all guys in the next video.